So this month for the Take Action Club, the Live with Layla, I am joined by the lovely Katie. How you doing, lovely?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. I'm really excited for our members to hear your story because so many salon owners are just keen to remove themselves from their salon. And it might not be, every single day, but even 1 day a week or 2 days a week sound rather lovely for them. So I'm really, really excited to hear how you got to remove yourself from your salon, which is still running and very successful today, without you even being there. So before we get started into that, just tell everybody who you are and what your zone of genius is.
So my name is Katie Godfrey. I am the owner of the KG brand. So that consists of a beauty salon, that consists of eyelash products and brow products, training academies across the UK and business mentoring. So yeah.
So we could sit here and talk to you all day about all of those things, and we'll definitely come back, I think, to talk about another area of your business. But today I'm really interested to find out about you as a salon owner and why you felt the need to remove yourself from your salon, and how your tangible steps, how you actually did that successfully, because I know that idea freaks so many salon owners out, but they want to do it, but they're freaked out by, can they actually do it?
It freaks so many salon owners out, and that's purely because we're so emotionally involved in our businesses, which is a good thing because we want to invest all of our time. It's not that good when you want to grow, because if you're emotionally connected, you can't actually grow. So I was working in my salon 6 days a week, every single hour. I had a team already, but I was still the go-to person for clients, which all salon owners will know, because as a salon owner, the clients want you. They don't really want your team, unless you're booked up and they're quite easy going. So I was the main person on the floor. I was the busiest person. I was the one bringing the most money in, and I was also obviously looking after my team. So everyone can relate to that's watching this. Then I fell pregnant with my little girl, who is now 6. She'll be 7 in a couple of months, and I was a single mum at 10 weeks pregnant. So when I fall pregnant, regardless if I was single or not, I think, right, I'm busy 6 days a week, all hours. How am I going to bring a little person into this world? And then I'm completely on my own. So there's childcare gone out the window. There's help gone out the window. There's me living on my own with a baby. I was like, I'm going to have to get my shit in gear and leave the salon floor. So I made sure I'd done that really, really quick. So from the day I felt I was pregnant to it was about 3 months in, I trained my team, because they were all doing clients anyway, but I needed to make sure they were my standard. They didn't all do lashes, because lash extensions was my baby. I was like, that's my bag. I love lashes. I'll do all the lash clients. So I had to get them trained up on lashes to a certain standard for my clients to go over. I mentored my clients to, here's my team, they're trained by me, I'm leaving the salon floor, but I'm not going anywhere as if this is still my salon. Because I'm not here, it doesn't mean I'm not contactable. It doesn't mean I'm not mentoring my team. It doesn't mean that I'm not watching every single move. I'm just not physically doing treatments and on the salon floor. And I'd done that process with my clients for 3 months. I'd done that process with my girls for 3 months, and I left being 3 months pregnant. So I had that whole time from 3 months to 9 months, checking in, making sure the systems all worked, making sure there was no complaints or issues. So then I could have maternity after baby. Maternity as a business person, you know what that looks like. And it worked, and I didn't lose one client, and my team were amazing the whole process, and that's how I stepped out. And then when I stepped out, I was like, my God, when I have all this time to work on my other companies I also had back then, to look after my team more, because when you have a team, yes, you might be in there every day doing treatments. Yes, you're then with your team every day, but you're not actually looking after them. You're too busy looking after your clients. Your team need mentoring. Your team need their one-to-ones. Their team need their team meetings. and the extra training and stuff that you need to give them.
All the leadership comes into
exactly
play.
And they need to step up, and your team can only step up if you step up as a salon owner. So it was a real big thing for me and the team, but it worked and it grew the company. A lot of salon owners will go, well, I can't pay someone else and still pay me the same money and me not doing treatment. And that's why a lot of people don't do it. But actually, because you have so much time and more freedom to work on the business, you have more headspace to be able to get in business mode rather than salon owner mode and promote the business, which then brings in more clients, which then brings in you pulling your staff being more busy, which then makes you more money. So you do make a lot more money if you're out of the salon rather than in the salon. Definitely.
For anyone who's in the club who's listening to this will probably have heard me say this a million times, that when we are in our business, we're in labor. And when you're in labor, which basically, behind the chair, behind the desk, behind the lash couch, whatever, your brain is so focused on helping that client go through their transformation to get them their results that you're not working on the business. And also, when you go and sign to, take that first shop, that first salon, or, you're qualified, the moment someone decides to open a business on the back of their qualification is the moment they've got themselves a second job. And I think this is where the disconnect comes in, actually, is that we all come skipping out of college with our distinctions and our passes or whatever it is now. When you get, you're finished in beauty school, whether it's the college or whether it's a private training establishment like I've got, like what you've got. And they go, oh, I love doing nails. I love nail art, or I love lashes. I'm going to go and do this as a business now. It's such a small part of the whole ecosystem. And I think this is where we get so stuck in the weeds, or the, of the runnings of the business, as in like being in the business, is that we don't allow that space then to step out and to grow, because that is really where the growth is, isn't it?
100%. Like you said, so many people will be good at their job, they'll be busy with clients, then they might leave the salon that they're at, or they might go straight from college and work for themselves, doing it from home or whatnot, get slowly busy, then think, okay, next step salon. But people don't realize that the next step being a salon is a business. Do you know business? Have you studied business? Do you have a business mentor? Like, do you know about accounts? Do you know about making money? Like, do you know about marketing? There's so much other stuff than just having a salon.
So many moving parts. Yeah.
So many things. And that is why most salons don't stick around, because they will get so into being on the salon floor, then thinking, right, God, now I've got to have staff, or employed, or self-employed. I'm stuck there. Let's just self-employed because that's what everyone else does, which is completely wrong to grow the business. Like, and then they just get stuck into this running circle, get burnt out, and just think, I don't want to do it anymore. Like, you need to look at it at a completely different way, from a business perspective, not from any other.
I mean, it's easy. I mean, I had my salon almost 10 years before I sold it, and to this day, it's still running as a successful salon, which is amazing. But it's easy to get, and you said it right at the beginning of this chat, that salon owners are too emotionally attached to their business. And it's easily done, because generally speaking, we're people, and we're genuinely there to help people through their problems, weight problems, skin problems, hair problems, mental health problems. And so we do have those deep conversations, and we do. I mean, I remember, customers, I would know their husbands' names, I would know their dogs' names, their kids' names, we get really involved in their life, so it's very easy to blur that line between client and friend.
So easy.
Easter eggs at Easter, getting the Christmas presents at Christmas, getting the birthday presents, the lines are blurred, which then make it harder for the salon owner to then go, actually, your treatments are now going to be done by such and such a person, or I'm not as available as I was. And that can upset people. I mean, when I removed myself so the last 2 years of owning my salon, I was already in my second premises. So I couldn't be in 2 buildings at the same time. I couldn't, unless we clone ourselves, and how many of us would love to clone ourselves? But I couldn't be. And I knew for me to step into the next version of me, I had to be in the second premises, second business. And now I'll never forget it, because it was just when Facebook was invented. And it was before Messenger was its own thing. It was part of Facebook, like into like inside it, wasn't it? And one of the first ever DMs or PMs, sorry, one of the first ever PMs I got was, don't forget it's your name above the door, Layla, because my salon was called Layla's. And I think we do, without really meaning to, we offend clients. We offend them because they're so used to us being at their beck and call. And now we're putting our needs first and our growth first. And we need to step into the next version of ourselves. And to do that, we've got to step out of the business. And all of a sudden, like I said, yeah, we're not at their beck and call, and they can get offended by that. I had people leave. There's nothing wrong with my staff, you know. But I think sometimes they just do take it personally. And I think for anyone listening, and if you do, you know, go for it, and your clients, what's the word? They're not that happy about it, let them go. Like, I mean, that's amazing 100%. When you said you didn't lose anybody, but I did. But I was okay with that. I felt like that could be an issue. And yeah, like I say, I got the message on Facebook saying it's your name above the door. Are you coming back? And actually, no, I wasn't.
And you know what, you will always still get them clients. Like 7 years on, I haven't been on the salon floor. I go back at Christmas Eve, and do some lash clients and be with my team. And that's the only day of the year I go back. If staff call in sick or anything like that, I don't go and pick up the pieces. I get the team to do it. I'm very, very strict with it. But even now, 7 years on, someone said the other day, does Kate never come in anymore? Like, no, actually, because I'm busy building the business, not being inside here. Yeah. Like it, but they will never get that mindset. And sometimes you do get really down. I'm a really sensitive person. So as much as people look at me and go, she's really business minded, I wish I had her mindset and stuff like that, I'm still very sensitive. So when my team says something like that to me, I'm like, I'll get offended, and I'll be like, oh my God, what does she think of me? And then my head has to switch again and be like, no, she's never going to understand my mindset. Yeah. She just thinks my team are working and I'm swanning off, not doing anything else. But why have to justify yourself? It's your business.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, I'm sat here now in my house in Spain. This is actually one of my guest rooms. And I had a few of that. So I lived here 3 years. And before I moved back to the UK, and I would see more of my staff opening my stories, and I started to feel bad when they see me like having a cocktail at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, working on the beach, because there's beach bars up and down the south, you know, the coastline here. And I'd be thinking, oh, I bet they just think I do sweet FA, you know, and I'm just sunbathing, or I'm lying next to the pool, or I'm down here, and actually, it's the actions I've been taking out of the business that's allowed the business to grow, that's allowed their pay to grow, that's allowed their rewards and their bonuses at the end of the year, and getting them all their Gucci. I buy them all the Gucci product every year, every Christmas. I couldn't do that if I was in the classroom still. I couldn't do that if I was still in the salon. So I think you do have to get to a place in your career where you've just got to kind of not listen to the distractions, which are probably your own thoughts, you know, your own procrastination 100%. Coming in, and your own little worries coming in, and just box them off, like, you know, box them away, and don't listen to the negative vibes that could come in, and don't be worried so much about the judgment. And I think that's probably a big word here, judgment. I think that is what stops a lot of salon owners from removing themselves from their diary and being less available. It's the judgment of thinking, oh, she doesn't care about us anymore. Oh, she just stuck us into someone else's column, and, you know. And I think if anyone listening that's going to do that, just be okay with a little bit of shrinkage. And what I mean by shrinkage is if you lose some clients along the way. Because
you lose clients, you gain clients. You can gain all new clients back. Don't be scared of that. If they're that type of client, you don't want them anyway. And also, when it comes to clients, it's not always just clients, it's the staff. Like, people will go, because you have that connection with clients, you're also in the salon, you have that connection with your staff. So then a lot of people will be like, oh, but they're my family, they're like my sisters. No, they're not. They're your staff members, because they will soon leave you if something better comes along. And you have to have that mind shift change as well. Like, I love my team. Like, I love them as my team members. But there definitely is now. There wasn't back then. There was no lie. They were my best friends. I'd go out with them, we'd do dinner. And when it comes to disciplinaries, you ain't got no chance. You ain't got no chance at all. Yeah. Like, you can't draw any line. Whereas when you start drawing the line and you see, no, they're my team, I can still love them, I can still be really nice to them, I can still give them what I want them, but they're my team. When you have to do disciplinaries and stuff like that, it's a lot easier. But also that whole stepping out process, you'll feel like that with your clients, but you'll also feel like that with your team. Should be like, what does my team think? Like, what do I have to go in and justify how busy my day is so they think that I'm doing something? Like you hear that a lot as well. So it's a lot of emotion, it's a lot of just have to stay in your own lane. And why are you even in business? Like, always have that at the front of your mind, because if you're not running your business like a business, you might as well go and work for someone else.
I remember saying in the Beauty Boss community probably 2 years ago, and talking about when COVID happened and staff were putting people on the furlough scheme, and people were saying in the group, you know, I never work so much, you know, I'm doing other people's jobs now, and all of these things, and a little bit of resentment coming in where staff were getting paid, okay, 80%, but they're still getting paid majority of their salary whilst they're sat at home. And then we had the heat wave, if you remember, in the year one, and everyone that's getting paid by the government, but only because they're employed still, was going off at the, you know, sunbathing and seeing everyone's barbecues at home, where salon owners were like, oh, well, I've got to keep this business going. So we've got a business to come back to. So they've got a job to come back to. And I think it's times like that, which is a nice little reminder, actually. And I said this in the group, and I had to then reinforce what I meant, which was staff are there for one reason and one reason only. And that is to really drive that company into profit. And they are paid for that, you know, and you're giving them a nice environment. And then the bonuses, if they perform, and all of the salon culture comes in, and that's a whole different conversation. But really, staff are there to drive profit for that business. Same with clients. They are there to put money in the till. We can still love them. We can want the best for them. But ultimately, they're there to put money in the till, which pays everyone's wages, our wages, staff's wages, pays the rent, the rates, the landladies, landlords, whatever. And so I think sometimes we just need to have that little reality check in our minds and remove the emotional part. I just did a post just today. It's really weird we're talking about the word emotion. You said it at the beginning. Where we make decisions, it's got to come from a place of intelligence and logic over emotions. And I think, I mean, you sounds like you did it perfectly, where you weaned your clients into other people's columns. You reassured your clients that your staff are more than capable because they've been trained and they are under your, you know, your eyes, your everything. And that gave your clients confidence, which is why they didn't leave. So they didn't all have to leave. Mine did. I think not everybody. I think a couple people did. And like whatever, like, they can be replaced. They can 100%. Be replaced. Yeah. So, okay. So what would be your go-to tip? I'm aware that you've got to go soon. And by, you know, you let us know when you've got to go and jump off onto your next call.
Yes, come.
But let everybody know here, what would be your first tangible tip for salon owners that have listened to this today and gone, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to remove myself from the salon. What would be your first thing for them to shut down this Mac? Or this video, and to go and do first? Would it be an email? Would it be a text? Would it be maybe a bit of market research through their stories? I mean, what would you suggest?
I always say set a date, like set a goal date. Like, what is, because you can say, oh, I'm going to step out soon, or I want to do this, but you have to have that goal date to know that's the date that you're going to be stepping out to be able to work towards.
So hold yourself accountable.
Exactly, you're holding yourself accountable, but then you go and tell your team, and you tell your team that you're stepping out, your reasons why you're stepping out, and this is the date I'm going to do it by. And in that, it isn't about, oh, I'm stepping out and I'm not going to be in the salon anymore. It's, I need to up the game for the salon so you can be on more wages, so you guys can be better at your job, so you guys can run the show, so, and the reasons why you're stepping out. Then once they're on board, because they're the most important, you need your team, then you start talking to your clients about it and be like, look, you've got 2 or 3 more infills with me. This is why I'm stepping out. Get them on board with it, again, with the emotion, because they're mainly women, so they'll fall for the emotion. And then every time they come in, you'd be like, you've got 2 more sessions with me, and then you'll go over to Chloe or whatever. Then you'll be 1 more session with me, then you'll be over with Chloe. Like, so you can you just start.
I think that injects a bit of excitement, actually. Like, not the game effect, but I think that injects a little bit of excitement. Like, oh, we've got some exciting changes happening around here. 3, 2, 1.
Exactly. So always just set that date first, and you don't have to be like, oh right, I'm going to set that as my year goal. Like, no, you can set that for a goal in a few months' time. If you want to do it so you're not out completely and you're out, 1 day or 2 days, it's definitely harder, because you're still then very much in. So then what people tend to do is extend their hours. They try and squeeze everyone in. The client's like, well, we're still in a few days. So they start getting a little bit shitty, because, well, if you're in this day, why can't you be in that day? Or they all try and move over to the days that you're in. You can do it. A lot of the salons I work with have done that successfully, but it has been harder than going straight out. But obviously that does depend on your staffing. You might not have the staff in there to be able to go straight out, and have to make it a gradual process.
There's been
you just got to be really strict.
Like, stick to your guns, basically, and don't be talked into changing your decisions. The running theme of this whole chat actually has, obviously the whole point of today's chat was about how you can help even just trigger the thoughts. It could just not have even been a thought before this video, and maybe salon owners listening will even just start exploring even their own thoughts before actually taking action. But actually, what we've been talking a lot about is the staff, which is a huge part of the whole shift. So for the solopreneurs, so the one-man bands, the lady who's got the cabin at the end of her garden, for the lady who, has converted a part of her house, or, rents a small little shop, how would you say that she goes about reducing her hours? She doesn't have a team. She doesn't have someone to flirt her clients into another column.
Well, then she's either got 2 options. She either changes her services to a higher price service, so she can do less clients. So she could do less clients, less hours, but earn more money. Or if she's someone like now tech like I was, you're going to have to get a team. There isn't any way to grow, I believe, without a team. And that would be an employed team, not a self-employed team, because they're not your team if they're self-employed. Like, I'm really passionate about that subject. So if anyone wants to reach out about employment, like, I'm your girl. But yeah, you have to build with a team. So it's going to take obviously a lot longer, because then you're going to have to find just a staff member. You will be nervous. You might want to just take them on, part-time. Then you would just drop a day or so and do that gradually. So it'll be a longer process, but it will definitely be worth it. And in the meantime, you're growing a bigger business. And then some people might not want to do that at all, and they are quite happy in their room doing their clients, closing the door at the end, not dealing with teams and growth. And that's also fine. Like, it depends what camp you want to go in, and there isn't any right or wrong. It just depends what you want out of life,
and why you went self-employed in the first place, why you became a beauty boss. Like, why?
Exactly. Like, do you not want to just answer to someone and you just want to do your hours and go home? Then you've got to stay there with no team and work how you're working, and that's what makes you happy. You need to stay doing that. But if you're like, I want freedom, I don't actually want to work as such, then you need to build a team.
Ain't that the truth? That is so true. So, okay, we're going to wrap up, because I know you've got to get off. So before you go, and everyone knows by now when they watch these live with Layla conversations in here, underneath the video is all your contact handles, your Instagram links, your Facebook. Where else can people find you? If you've got a website?
So Instagram's my go-to, because we always hang out on there. My website, if you want to look at the salons, kgsalons.com. If
that's
you
a nice place to start.
If you go there, you can filter through, but everything is on my Instagram. So just feel free to reach out.
Amazing. I think COVID has taught or woken up a lot of people and thought they don't just have to stick to one thing. They don't just have to, it's okay to change, and it's okay to step into different, areas. And I think a lot more salon owners are now really opening their brains to that possibility of stepping out of the salon or doing another industry at the same time, or even stepping out of the industry entirely and finding a new passion, a new focus. I think all of the above is okay. I think people they've had a lid on a lot of things for a long time, and then when we lost freedom and we were controlled essentially by a government, I think people now are thinking, hell no, I've got one life and I don't want to be stuck in this salon 8 days a week or 10 hours a day. There's more to life than that. And I think a big lesson as well is that the salon is there to fund your lifestyle. I think it's a lifestyle. That's where my headspace is at. But I think the salon is there to serve your life, not the other way around. It works.
Oh my God.
It works too, not the other way around.
And my salon has given me the best lifestyle, and especially for my little girl, like, it's given me the freedom because obviously I've stepped out. I get to have every school holiday off with her. She doesn't have to go to any clubs. I can pick her up. I can take her to school. We've literally traveled the world. Like, she's only 6 and she's gone to so many places. I couldn't have done that without the salon, and all my other businesses, I couldn't have gone into that if the salon didn't invest in them in the first place.
Yeah. Love that. I love that. Okay, lovely. What have you got planned for the rest of the day?
I'm podcasting for the whole day, so I'm just talking.
Right, well, I will leave you to get on and jump on your first podcast. Thank you so much, Katie.
You're welcome. Lovely to see you again. See you soon.
And you, lovely. Take care.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.